Luke Taylor.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. As the Chair of the APPG for the Future of Aviation, Travel and Aerospace, I very much welcome this step to push the aviation industry into the future and into a sustainable one. I would encourage members in this House to join the APPG and come along to our meetings if you want to find out more about sustainable and the future of aviation. So as working in the aviation industry for 16 years before I was elected to this place and studying aeronautical engineering for 4 years before that, it would have been remiss of me not to come to the Chamber and share with you my expertise on this subject, but I will try not to bore you. I very much welcome the support for future technology and investment that's already been announced and previously been announced from the government. We have a massive and historical expertise here in Great Britain and Northern Ireland in aviation, and we really must grasp this opportunity to develop those skills and develop that technology further. It's an incredible opportunity for UK PLC, and we really need to grasp it. I just pick up a comment from the Minister in her opening statement about airspace modernisation, because that is very much relevant to the discussion here today, in that we must grasp the opportunities of airspace modernisation, which have the potential, as she mentioned, to deliver shorter, more direct, more efficient flight routes. But as MPs, we must engage with the process. We must understand and learn about how this is happening around us, because it is inevitable, but we must get the best for our communities. We must understand and engage with that process as it goes along, because it's an incredible opportunity. The technologies that we have today, we've heard about at the APPG over the last few months. One of those particularly interesting is Zero Avia, who are already flying a hydrogen electric zero emission aircraft in the UK. It's a hydrogen fuel cell and with electrical propulsion that actually really offers completely zero emissions flight. And as my the honourable member for Wimbledon previously mentioned, that this is only a stepping stone to truly zero emission flight that we really need to capture. And I forgive me for boring you slightly. The Breguet range equations that I learnt about in my degree. These equations mean that it's the reason why an Airbus A380 will take off at 580 tonnes when it takes off in London and land in Sydney at around 340 tonnes, because the burning of the fuel throughout its journey means that it's able to maintain the range and maintain the flight levels that burning of the fuel and the reduction in the weight require. And this is one of the reasons why liquid fuel will almost always be required for very long-haul flights, no matter how far we progress with hydrogen and electrical power plants for short and medium-haul flights. So I think this really does amplify the need for not just the current second-generation SAF fuel production, but looking at alternative fuel sources such as algae-derived SAF. The point has been made previously really correctly about the reduction in residual waste, which is the current fuel source for a lot of biodiesel for the development of SAF. And as those sources decrease and the cost potentially increases, we need to be looking at truly zero carbon sources of SAF. So I will not bore you more, but in closing, I'll just echo the words of my honourable friend and the member for Wimbledon and of my party to encourage the Minister to go further and faster to achieve the truly zero carbon and lower noise aviation technology, so that we can continue to enjoy the incredible freedoms and opportunities both in economic activity, jobs, skills, trade and the broadened horizons that aviation has offered us for more than a century, and long may that continue.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Like my honourable friend from Harlow, I would say to the member for Sutton and Cheam, definitely never be ashamed of being a geek of any kind. I definitely don't have his knowledge of anything to do with formulas or anything like that at all, but certainly I'm a self-professed aviation geek who spent probably far too long sitting at the end of runways and just watching planes land for hours on end, and used to cycle with one of my friends when I was at high school who lived very close to the end of what was Edinburgh Airport runway, and just sit and watch aircraft come in, to the point that once the police did come along and ask why these two 14-year-olds were sitting at the end of an airport runway just watching aircraft land. And the police were probably correct. I can assure nothing untoward or nothing illegal was happening. We were just being that sad and geeky and watching planes land. I think that was the problem the police had. They didn't believe that that's what two 14-year-olds were intending to do. I'm happy to give way to
I would challenge his commitment to aviation spotting if he hasn't taken a date to the final approach at Heathrow Airport at university and had her observing the flights coming into Heathrow for a good 2 hours during university time. So he may be a geek, but he's not quite there yet.
Well, it depended. The date ended up marrying him, wouldn't it? Graham Downing.
Thank you, and can I thank him for that intervention. I will not ask for a second intervention to how that relationship progressed, I suspect, as things went on. Madam Deputy Speaker, aviation is a critical part of our national story. And